or cross paths with these categories of persons, do not laugh or make mockery of them. This is a touching story of a woman called Ajanu who gave birth to five special humans: Albino, Hunchbacked, that is an Oti, dwarf, and a cross-eyes daughter. Welcome to Ideka Stories, our teachable story TV, the best channel for storytelling in English with moral lessons, African folktales, and folklores. Ajanu was known far and wide for one thing: her laughter. Not the gentle kind of laughter, mind you, but a loud, careless, mocking kind that could leave people burning with shame. For Ajanu, everything was a joke. Everyone was fair game. She laughed at the tall, the short, the serious, the sensitive. But she saved her chattest laughter for those who were simply different. Take this story from her youth. For example, one day she attended a funeral. There, surrounded by somber faces, Ajanu spotted the corpse in the casket, dressed in a peculiar outfit that looked, well, let's just say it looked like it was sewn in a hurry. Her lips curled, and before anyone could say a word, she burst out laughing. Yes, laughing at a funeral. Look at people glaring at Ajanu as she covers her mouth, still giggling uncontrollably. People were horrified, but she never gave it a second thought. Life to her was meant to be laughed at. Little did she know, fate had a lesson in store for her. Years later, Ajanu got married. She settled down, and before long, she was expecting her first child. But her mischievous nature, oh, it hadn't gone anywhere. One day, while heavily pregnant, she saw an elderly neighbor, an albino woman in her 50s, struggling to sweep the yard. The woman's vision was weak, and every so often she would trip over her broom, sending dust and leaves flying in all directions. Ajanu watched, and rather than offering a hand, she just laughed. Ajanu laughed uncontrollably while the elderly woman squinted, trying to hold back her tears. Oh, how close can you get? Sweeping in circles. She's more of a mess than the yard. But that day, the elderly woman had had enough. She looked up at Ajanu, and with a heart heavy from the sting of humiliation, she muttered a prayer under the scorching sun. May she have an albino child herself so she can laugh as long as she wants right at home. Elderly woman whispering to herself, looking to the sky. And so the wheels of fate began to turn. 9 months later, Ajanu gave birth to her first child, a beautiful albino daughter. This is Ajanu holding her newborn, eyes wide in disbelief. Now, did this change her? Did she suddenly feel a sense of humility or compassion? If you know Ajanu by now, you will guess it. No, she hasn't. A few months later, while out in the market, Ajanu saw a hunchback woman slowly making her way down the path. Ajanu, true to form, burst into laughter, making faces and even doing a little impression of the poor woman as she walked past her. Oh, look, it's like she's carrying a mountain on her back. What a sight! Ajanu mockingly. The elderly woman stopped, caught Ajanu's eyes, and with a piercing look that shook Ajanu just a little, she quietly said to herself, may she carry one of these mountains in her own family soon. 9 months later, Ajanu's second child was born, a hunchbacked son. The worst is her hunchback son has never been outside because it was at that time that ritual killers were hunting the hunchback people as if they were looking for gold. They were being used for money rituals. Ajanu's hunchbacked son stay at home to eat and poop only. But even then, Ajanu laughed it off, thinking it was just a coincidence. Few years later, Ajanu came for an antenatal in the hospital when she was pregnant for her third child. She saw a woman who came to the hospital with an imbecile son. Ajanu presumed her naughty nature again. The way the imbecile was sitting and looking amused her so much that she could not hold her laughter. The mother of the child was pained and aggrieved when she found out that her fellow woman was laughing at her child's predicament. It didn't end there. When the imbecile wanted to open a cheese ball given to him, he fell down from his seat, and this made Ajanu laugh out very loud. Out of anger, the imbecile mother muttered, don't worry, woman, it's going round. It will reach your house. Did it happen? Yes. Ajanu's third child was an autism, and the imbe finally reached her end. Fast forward a few years more. Ajanu, pregnant with her fourth child, found herself again sitting in a hospital waiting room where she spotted a boy sitting with his mother. His head bigger than the whole of his body, his hands and legs not distant from the ground, his body full of muscle and varicose vein. Yet he looks like a baby. Ajanu couldn't help herself. She covered her mouth, laughing behind her hand at every movement. This is Ajanu whispering, snickering and mocking to herself. I mean, look at him, poor mom. What a handful. This one too will become someone's husband. What can this one do now? She continued laughing as she said these cruel words. Even the Eskimo who was a teenager, knew he was being referred to, and this made him feel sad. And the mother of the boy noticed and turned, her face drawn in sadness and anger. She looked at Ajanu in the eye with a deep sigh, murmured a phrase that would seal Ajanu's fate once again. Don't worry, woman. He will come. He is a coming. Sadly, she muttered almost to herself. Did he come? Yes, Eskimo came to Ajanu. And sure enough, Ajanu gave birth to a son with the same condition. Then Ajanu's last child, a girl with crossed eyes. That was the last child and the second daughter of Ajanu. This one is always looking uncertainly around the room. She was born with the kind of eyesight people call 430 eyes, but her hers was worse. With a bad looking eyesight that when she looks, you hardly guess the direction of her sight. Where did Ajanu get this one? from a deadly masquerade. There was a masquerade in her husband's community that forbade women staring at it, especially the pregnant women. Anytime the masquerade would make appearance, announcements were made earlier for those who would go to the market to do so and return. But Ajanu, headstrong, hid in the forest while pregnant, with her fifth child to satisfy her curiosity. Each time Ajanu looked at her last daughter, she would remember the cross eyes masquerade. She wore the exact face of the masquerade. Even the villagers nicknamed her the masquerade girl. And so time went on. Ajanu had a house full of special children, special humans, special beings, each one a reflection of someone she had once ridiculed or mocked or laughed at. And here, viewers, this is Ajanu's home with five children. The oldest, an albino girl. The second, her hunchbacked son. The third, her son with intellectual challenges called Imbe, that is Oti. The fourth one, a dwarf boy, Eskimo. The last, her daughter with cross eyes, that is the masquerade girl. The girl looking uncertainly around the room. But there was no laughter anymore. Her husband had left her, driven away by shame and frustration. Alone, Ajanu was now surrounded by the very lives she once mocked so freely. And each child, as much as she tried, could not be hidden from sight or from her heart's gnawing regrets. In the end, Ajanu learned her lesson, though painfully and slowly. She could see that life wasn't meant to be mocked. It was meant to be cared for, respected, loved. The story of Ajanu teaches us one simple truth: to be kind. Life will always reflect back to us what we put into it. So why not make that reflection one of compassion? Now listen, as a young girl, as a young mother to be, anytime you part way or you cross path with this group of people, especially when you are pregnant, the albino, do not laugh at them, do not mock them. Anytime you pass through imbecile, do not laugh. When you cross paths with an orty, with a dwarf, do not laugh. You never know, your house could be the next call. They may come visiting, and when they visit, they will never go. Avoid the fate of Ajanu. Finally, be kind, for in kindness there is beauty. Thank you for watching. Please like and share our stories. Bye.